general networking, firewalls and UTM devices. We are going to focus on UTM devices in this video. We'll show you what they do, why it's good to have a device like that at home, and is it expensive? I took that from CyberRoam, and that is a UTM device that I have. Let's start with a short definition. It is pretty important to understand what a UTM is. Unified Threat Management. It is like having a firewall, but it is a more sophisticated firewall, if that's how I can describe it. I recorded a video where I showed you what a firewall was, and I hope you remember stateful packet inspection. You can make sure nobody can access to your network. It will protect your network. There's some denial of service attack protection and so on. UTM will add features that we really need today. It will give you an option for anti-spam protection, content filtering, gateway antivirus, network intrusion prevention. All these features, backup 3G and so on, all these features that we actually need. A lot of vendors, they don't really, well, now I think they do, but I remember 2 or 3 years ago, a lot of big names in this field, they say, what do you mean? You need to have 25 devices. One is a firewall, one is VPN, one is antivirus, and so on. You can guess what I mean by saying a big name, but if that's the case, there is always someone who will say, no, we can have an all-in-one device. Here you go. And this is something that a lot of small companies and even home networks will have today. What's the advantage? Of course, it's security. Okay, having a gateway antivirus, web filtering, bandwidth management, backup 3G connection, VPN options are just, all these things that are on a firewall, but they are tweaked and they added a lot of security solutions. I have 2 UTM devices at home actually. One is my primary firewall and second is my backup. I have CyberRoam and Zyzo. I will show you an interface of a Zyzo USG50 in a moment. That's 2 firewalls that I have. One is CyberRoam, one is Zyzo. Of course, almost all vendors will have. There is WatchGuard, there is Sonic Wall, a lot of devices. Again, I encourage you to browse, read online, see what you like. I'll tell you why I decided to go for these 2 boxes. Just a few sentences. Zyzo, I really like the interface. It was very easy to manage, and it allows me to use 3G as my backup here. That's 3G. That's really, really great. It's here. Yeah, you can have even 2 devices like that connected. I'll show you that. And yes, I use dynamic DNS here as well. There are 2 WAN ports. It means I can connect to ISPs and a built-in switch. Everything gigabit. It's not a wireless device. I don't know why. There is a wireless device as well, but I decided to go for a wired solution here. And the second one is CyberRoam. I decided to buy it because I wanted to have an IPS device, and everything else was pretty expensive, and the throughput was not good. CyberRoam, this box, that's I think exactly the one that I've got, 35. I have a VDSL line at home that is 70 megabits per second. No problem for this box. This guy, 10 megabits per second. Crazy. It's not very expensive either. Okay, that's what you can have, all these nice features in one box. Let's look at the dashboard of a UTM device, ISO USG 50. I have one USB device connected and one link that goes to my switch. As you can see, some basic information about these devices, and of course licenses. It's all about licenses. Yeah, you need a license for an antivirus, you need a license for IPS, intrusion prevention system. Spam protection, sure, buy a license. Content filtering, sure, buy a license. At least firewall and basic ADP is not licensed. It's not expensive though, not very expensive. That's all I have to say about that. Comparing to some other vendors, it's not very expensive. How you set it up? Again, it's very easy. You will find everything in a place you expect to find. I'll show you the firewall, which is interesting. Very easy to set up. I have some rules. For instance, this one I say from any to this zone, whatever port I want, allow, so on. Very easy to manage. I promised I'd show you my 3G. Where is it? It's here. Okay, it shows USB port 1, device name because it's a 3G USB dongle, connected, provider, and the quality of the signal. Easy, great. That's what we expect, an all-in-one device. That you can even put two devices like that and do a failover solution, like for instance more sophisticated devices ASAs can do from Cisco. This guy can do that as well. You need two boxes and you can have redundancy in your network. Everything, how much? £130 for the cheapest version, USG 20. 50, it is around £250. Not a lot of money. Licenses, it all depends. If you want to go for all licenses, that is around £200-300 a year. Not a lot of money for a small company, in my opinion. In this video, we talked about firewalls and especially UTM devices. I found it on Wiki that the worldwide UTM market was worth 1.2 billion in 2007, and they think it will grow every year by 40%, and I'm pretty sure it will. Even Cisco moved to, UTM cloud solutions, spam protection, antivirus, and so on. Everybody does it. Of course, a lot of these companies, they missed a lot of good things, and they didn't have a device for a small office, home office environment. Well, there is always somebody else who will offer something like that.